Hey, and welcome to episode 9 of Mental Health.
Woo!
We're at episode 9 already, which is crazy.
I know, mental.
Double digits, one episode away.
I know, right? We're going to talk a little bit more about our 10th episode that we're going to do a little bit later. But firstly, we wanted to get into something that some people have raised as not really a potential issue with the podcast, but just more of a question on the mental health aspect of it. So, Terry...
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some things on Jay. I'm sure you've mentioned it before as well, haven't you? Of like people saying of where's the mental health aspect of this podcast?
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of for all three of us as well for the podcast to be, you know, it's helping us through our issues as well. We're not gonna. I don't think we'll ever. Or we might do on this podcast have a section that's just generally directed to mental health. The way we deal with it is we get together when we talk about music.
Well, that's it. I mean, Luke wrote that. He wrote it as a kind of a short description, didn't he? He's like, this is, it's where three like-minded people come together, and it's a cathartic release for us, and that's it. So that was a play on words. So very selfishly, it was for us three, but at the same time, if people do want to get in touch, that's absolutely fine. And we said that in the first 2 or 3 episodes because we didn't want to make light of the name. Because it is a play on words. You've got mental health. It is a play on words. That's why we chose the name. Yeah. Because it does help us. And I mean, I'd like to think that, if someone did want to sort of say, get in touch or got in touch with us, that we'd acknowledge it. But like you said, Terry, is every single episode going to have something that acknowledges mental health? No. Probably not, although ironically, this episode is. Yeah. But, yeah.
Well, I would say if you're kind of looking for that thing, more directed towards mental health podcasts and stuff like that, I'm sure there's many out there.
Yeah.
But we're not going to be speaking about it.
I think that's it. I think we've clarified
every day.
The name
or every episode. Sorry.
I think we've clarified it. The name's a play on words.
Yes.
And Luke aptly described it as. Initially, it was done for our. We just did this. We're not getting paid. We're not getting kickbacks from venues or bands or brands or anything like that. This is for our benefit, but we also do acknowledge that we would like for other people to enjoy it as well. But I think Luke's description always put it best.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I guess it started off as I wouldn't necessarily say a selfish act, because it was to help myself and help Jay and help Terry. And hey, if that helps other people whilst they're listening to it, then bonus. But yeah, it is like a passion piece that we do, and getting together when we do get together and talk about shit and chatting about bands and albums and things. Yeah. It's cathartic and it helps us, and hopefully that helps other people. And I hope that kind of clarifies things.
The name.
Yeah, exactly. I do. But yeah, like I say, we've always done this as well. It's just like we've started this podcast. I mean, we'd still be doing the same thing even if we wasn't.
Yeah,
podcasting.
Yeah,
because we've always done it anyway, haven't we?
If we weren't recording, we'd just be talking about the same shit, maybe in like spoons.
Yeah.
Or when we were at Tech Fest.
Yeah, we'd still be like saying the same shit, and like it helps us out. I've had a bit of a bad week, and last weekend been off work and stuff, and this is like a cathartic break, and it lets me kind of cut loose a little bit and talk about some shit with some friends and not think about the crap that I have been thinking about. So if it helps that way, then hopefully it helps other people in the same way. But we're going to go into hot topic at the moment because we've recently had the death of Jill Janis from Huntress due to mental health issues, and I know that she was kind of pretty outspoken with mental health awareness as well, which makes it even more of a shame, really. Yeah,
she's always kind of mentioned it in interviews and stuff, wasn't she? She wasn't ashamed to kind of say what she was going through.
Suffer through depression, which a lot of people who do suffer will keep that shit locked down tight, or they'll kind of mention it, but they always wrap it up with a bow of humour, like lol, I want to kill myself. And I'm not cheapening that, because people say lol and they actually do go, no, I genuinely do feel suicidal, but I'll try and make a joke out of it, where she was just pretty much flat out, there was no sugarcoating it. She's like, I have very dark thoughts. I do think about suicide. I'm not a happy person. But it goes to show, so not that I wouldn't want to dissuade anyone from being in a band, but I think a lot of people sometimes think, if I get in a band and I make it, that'll be it. I'll be on easy street.
It's not though. I mean, being in a band as Luke will know. I mean, we've not been in bands on that level of like Huntress or anything, but it's a lot of hard work. Getting signs, you kind of first step. You've got to tour for years. In back of vans, coming back late at night, having to
playing for beer money as well.
Yeah, playing for beer money, or not even getting paid at all.
You're not playing for a true monthly salary, are you?
Lugging equipment about at 2-3 o'clock in the morning because you don't want your shit stolen. Not showering. I mean, it's not a fun ride, and I suppose that only ramps up the more you get. The more famous you are, the more ramped up, the more touring you'll do.
And kind of interesting, I've just finished reading Max Cavalera's biography, but he was talking about when they first started getting big, so like sort of schizophrenia, beneath the remains there. And this was kind of again still predominantly Brazil, and he was writing in hotels and stuff, and there was no internet then.
Yeah.
But still, sort of people would tell each other, they're staying at this hotel, and like there was one hotel he was staying at, and so if anyone walked into the hotel in like jeans and t-shirt, the hotel would just kick him out because they knew it was kids looking to find him. So then he even had like kid fans, like teenage fans, wearing shirts and ties just to try and get into the hotel and try and find him. But you think this is pre-smartphone, pre-Instagram, pre-Twitter, pre-Facebook.
What did you say about him? I think, what was it you saying about it? About Tom Araya, that's why he's kind of getting it. Because he goes to all these cities, he tours the world, but in it just like hotel, arena, do the show, home, hotel, arena. Kind of that grind soon sends you mental.
That's it,
no matter how famous you are.
You might see on someone's band's itinerary, they're playing they're playing India and they're playing Budapest. And it's like, they're not going to see the baths of Budapest or Taj Mahal.
No,
they're going to see the hotel and then they're going to go on stage.
Yeah.
Because if you go out there, you're going to get mobbed. Yeah. Christ, it's on a far lower scale again, but I remember being in a pub just up from Corp and, seeing Rob Arnold from Chimera go for a slash, and I'm like, right, okay, where's he sat? Oh, that's where he sat, right, I'll start.
Can I hold it for you?
I'll start. Well, do you know what? Someone did ask him to sign a CD while he was having a slash. It's
really?
Like, Jesus, tax people, but you just think, and again, that were pre-Instagram or just as it was coming out, and you think,
right,
nowadays, the pressure that must be on artists.
Yeah, and it don't stop though, does it?
Yeah, so you never get a moment's peace. Your phone's banging off, ding, 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 ding.
If you're an artist, you've got to deal with all the fans, and then if you just want to go into your room or wherever, bit of quiet time, you turn on your phone, that's him blowing up like all pictures and God knows what else and messages and why didn't you play that song?
Yeah, you didn't play it. Your last album sucks. Why have you sold out? Why have you gone commercial?
So I could definitely see why it'd all fucking get on top pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But that's also looking from a perspective of someone that's not already suffering from mental health,
that could drive someone over if you do.
If you already have it, and that's your patch, that's your cathartic outlet.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all fine when you're on the stage or when you're in the writing process, but when you're doing everything else, I mean,
all things come into
it. Exactly. It comes a point where I don't know. If you're low on serotonin or whatnot, and it is generally a medical problem, and you haven't got some kind of other issue in the background that you have left unsettled, there is really nothing else that you can do about that. I mean, you're going to get that serotonin from playing live and being excited about things and writing songs, but the rest of the time you just sat with your thoughts like everybody else, and sometimes you're sat with your thoughts like everybody else, as well as the initial the extra pressure of being in a band and having to arrange shit. So it's the same as a lot of careers. I think that especially artistic and creative careers, you're going to have highs and lows. You're going to have bits where doing that thing helps, and you're going to have times where not doing that thing is very detrimental. And sadly we've had quite a lot of people that we've lost over the last year.
Well, I was talking with Terry about it. I don't know if it was I don't know who committed suicide. It was definitely someone famous because I was on Reddit. And quite a few people were saying things like, like other celebrities have done, what happens when one celebrity dies, the other celebrities chime in. And so someone had gone, why didn't you get in touch? As in the person who was alive had tweeted that going, why didn't you get in touch with me? Wish I'd have known how you were feeling. I would have done something. I would have flown out and seen you. So this was definitely last year. This was 2017. And then a very similar thing happened. So Metal Sucks reprinted all the tweets of all the artists after Jill's suicide. And one of them that interested me was Randy Wise, because it was a similar sort of thing. He's like, really enjoyed touring with you and Testament and everything. Why didn't you let us know? Now, what someone said about people who tweet that last year, they've kind of said, well, isn't that victim blaming? Because you're blaming the depressed person, saying, why didn't you reach out? And the reality is, if you know someone's depressed, if someone's confided in you,
you hold that hand out.
Why don't you? I'm sure Randy, in a cold light day, you might think, shit, but maybe he should have just, because, I'm like that. Maybe not to that degree, I'm not in a band and everything, but I probably don't send that many outbound messages, and likewise I don't get many inbound ones. And you know what? You sort of like, sometimes when people do message you, or they come around to your house, or whatever, that is such a boost.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's not victim blaming. If you know someone's down, don't go, you should have rang me. My ear's always there for you. Well, I'll tell you what, go around. And if you say I'm not up to it, fine, but at least by you making the act of going around to that person's house, even if they say, look, I'm just not up to it, I'm having some good time with me and the duvet sort of thing, that's fine. But even if you walk away thinking, oh Christ, I drove here and they don't want to see me, you don't know that person might have lifted them a little bit, might give them a bit of a serotonin kick, just by going, oh well, they came round, alright, I might have turned them away, but wow, someone does give a shit about that.
Yeah, exactly.
And you sort of think, I think we've got to go away from this saying, why didn't people let us know you were like that? It's like, when you're feeling down, you don't want to. Sometimes someone's kind. They were like, so something like that happened with me. I can't remember what it was, but I was at the Trivium gig with Terry, and it was someone from work. Someone just made a really weird, a jokey comment, but a nice jokey comment about me on Facebook, and so I messaged that colleague privately, and I'm just like, really appreciate that, because I feel that people don't like me at work. And this person, they're like, no, you could be more wrong than that. And that's the thing, if someone's feeling down, it's just a very small, kind phrase. That can be worth its weight in gold. And that's, I'm not going to say that's why Jill killed herself, that people weren't giving her kind words, but those little things can make a massive difference. It is untrue. And call your friends, text them, don't wait for your friend who is down to get in touch with you. Get in touch with them, and even if they say, no, I don't feel like coming out tonight, that's fine, but at least you've made that effort to go, do you know what, they still wanted to do something. That could have helped. You might think, don't go down the whole aggressive thing and fuck them, I got in touch with them, they just knocked me back. They've got their reasons for knocking you back, but you still might have helped them more than you can realise.
You don't know the situation, do you?
No, the personal story with me, I've just picked up the guitar again after a long time of being away from it and everything like that, and because I thought I did see a thing online, and it's like someone was saying online, pick some things that like you used to do, because you've been like in depression and stuff like that. You kind of push away the things that you used to do and you used to make you happy. And I was like, do you know what? I'm going to try fucking picking up the guitar again, and I've been really enjoying it. So that's one little thing. And I'll put that out to anybody who's listening. Just think back to anything that's made you happy in the past. It could be even going for a walk with a dog. Could be anything. But my little thing is like, I was in a band and everything as well. Local know and and everything like that. And I was, I don't know, I didn't pick up the guitar for about 3 or 4 years. Something like that.
Time.
Now I've picked it up. A good friend of ours as well, who we all know, helped me source this guitar out. But I'm forever grateful for that. But it's really helping me at the minute, because if I'm feeling it, I'll just go, now I'm just going to go have a noodle on the guitar, don't even fucking care what I'm playing.
There you go.
I could just be running scales, it just makes me forget.
Yeah, there you go. That's it.
So that's my 2 pence worth in on that.
Occupies the mind and yeah.
I think it's important to have a distraction, because if you sat there constantly thinking about things that you don't really necessarily want to be thinking about, distract yourself.
That's it.
Essentially.
That's the thing with me. I can just walk into the next room, pick my guitar up, and I'm off.
I'm the same. I can start a new song or something like that, and that'll distract me for an hour a night or something like that.
Yeah, or even longer.
Yeah, exactly.
See, for me, I wouldn't class myself as a musician at all, but I do like music. So this, for me, this is my equivalent of you two picking up the guitar and me getting you two and us talking about it, and
you read
spin
as well.
Yeah,
I mean, me and Terry can read, but I don't read for fun. I'm just not that kind of person. But I know that a lot of people are. My missus reads a lot.
Of my daughter's books, let alone.
A hungry caterpillar, you say?
Yeah, they've got massive words and pictures, and I still struggle with that.
So I think we just wanted to really lay on that and just say why we're doing it, and that it is relevant, and it's relevant to everyone really, and we can't, because we're using this as a cathartic reason for ourselves, we can't really lay into it as much every episode, because maybe we don't want to talk about it every episode, and as we say, we're using it as a distraction and not a job. So I don't know. But we've got some other things coming up.
We have indeed.
We've got a review of the new Alice in Chains album. And Jay's got some words about Bloodstock 2018 that he attended. So that'll be cool. If you went, cool.
Yeah.
But we're probably going to go into, I don't know, a song. I was going to say an Alice in Chains song, but we played an Alice in Chains song, a couple of episodes ago. We were talking about it, so
I think we did.
We'll probably put something else.
The one you know we'll play.
Yeah, I think it's the one you know, which I think is the last track on the new album.
I'll tell you what, because I think it's the best one from the forthcoming album so far. We'll play the latest Clutch track that they released.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Because that is mighty fine stuff.
All about Clutch.
It's my favourite one so far, and I'm a big Clutch fan of that album.
So that's what we'll do. We'll go into Clutch Bottom Feeder.
Yeah.
Cool. So here we are, Clutch.
To explain. Down track beams, weaponized fog, in wax Barbarella, set to stun. Down track beams, gamma ray gun, straight out the mothership, weaponized funk. Let me back up 20 years or so. Your mama, I was living on the road. I made a bail from the astral planes. Hopped in my 710. I was never quite the same. Down track beams, weaponized fog, in wax Barbarella, set to stun. Down track beams, gamma ray gun, straight out the mothership, weaponized funk. One last word to the wise. Well, we got time to kill. If the next ways don't get you, then the highway morning sun ain't what it used to be. They're gone, traffic beams, weaponized fog in wax Barbarella, set to stun. They're gone, traffic beams, cavalry gun, straight out the mothership, weaponized fog. They're gone, traffic beams, weaponized fog in wax Barbarella, set to stun. They're gone, traffic beams, cavalry gun, straight out the mothership.
So you've just heard Clutch's latest single, In Walks Barbarella, which is fucking sweet, and I can't wait to hear that album. It comes out next Friday, I think it is.
Yeah,
Oh,
7th
7th.
September.
Hey, doing it right now. We're going to do it on the pod.
Yeah. Yeah.
Reviewing it?
I'm happy
Oh, yeah.
to. I'm happy to do it. Yeah. So next podcast, we'll likely have.
I'll have to fit that around some Spider-Man gaming on PS4.
Oh
but
fuck yeah!
Now, how's that for
Don't you be slinging your web everywhere, Jay.
how's that for a Friday, eh? Fucking clutching new Spider-Man.
I know what you'll be
And me
doing.
shooting
Clutch
my,
on repeat and then on fucking...
and me shooting my web goo everywhere.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah! So what we're listening to in the background here is the new Alice in Chains album, Rainier Fog. We spoke about one of their singles a few podcasts ago. Album's out, came out last Friday, so we've had 3 days of listening to it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pass it around. Jay, what do you make of it?
I liked it. Big improvement for me from Devil Put the Dinosaurs here. I remember the two singles from that album were leaked. And you're like, this is promising. It's sort of carrying on in the same vein as Black Gives Way to Blue. And then, whereas I've gone back and listened to Black Gives Way to Blue, I've never really gone back and re-listened to Devil Put the Dinosaurs here.
Yeah,
straight away, I know I'm going to re-listen to this again. The only thing I would say is, and obviously this is the classic thing of being a music fan, that you never want a band to churn out killer album Mark II, but you don't want to depart too much, is the song layout, the track listing has a look. So you hit Red Giant up until Maybe, so you've got 5 tracks that are quite slow to mid-paced.
Yeah.
And like Terry says, it's front-loaded because sort of, although I say Red Giant's where it starts, I think the first 3 tracks, so the one Rainier Fog and Red Giant,
I really love Red
are
Giant.
really good. Now Red Giant is slow, so it's the start of the slow tracks.
I really like it.
But it's quite an ominous, dark sounding one. It's silly something
brooding, isn't it?
It could have slotted into Dirt. It has that kind of really dark early 90s vibe. The following one, Fly, that kind of sounds a bit like Heaven Beside You.
Yeah, I've got that vibe off that. But I like that track as well.
Yeah, I get the feeling that.
But mind you, I like Heaven Beside You anyway. So.
Yeah, I know you love that track. And I can see the band playing that live to try and give them a bit of rise from not always playing Heaven Beside You.
Yeah.
But then, sort of Drone, Deaf Ears, Blind Eyes, they are 2 slow songs, and I think that.
Even though I like each one of them, each one of the slower songs, this is what I would take, is I like them, but if they were on their own, I don't mind them. But one after another, I know what everyone's saying. It's a bit like, I'd have just wished that have kind of chopped and changed a little bit throughout the album, so it kept it a little bit more, balanced, if I'd say, because it just feel a lot front loaded at the front, and then it's just all the slower stuff at the end.
We've spoken about this quite a lot though. On like
with
the
that
mixture.
though, the last track. What's the last track called again, Jay?
1 second.
The one you know?
No.
The very, very last
All
track.
I Am.
Yeah, I absolutely adore that track. I really love that track. That's a really, really good closer in my book.
I think the other thing, so when we're talking about mixing up the track list as well, so Facelift had 12 tracks, Dirt had 13 tracks, Self-Titled had 12, or the Tripod, whichever one you want to call it, but they all had more than 10. Now this is 10 tracks on the nose, and I think if they'd have just written 2 or 3 mid to faster paced tracks, they could have literally, what you said, Terry, because there is still actually more slow and mid paced tracks than there is faster tracks.
Yeah.
But having said that, when you get to the back end of the one, you've got 2 really good tracks because you've got So Far Under.
Yeah.
And I've read a little bit on the internet. So Deval wrote all of that. So you're talking the lyrics, the guitars, the leads as well. So it was kind of, that was his baby. And it's all about sort of exercising the demons of, you know, stepping into lanes, role and having big shoes to fill, big shoes to fill, big shoes to fill. Had to get that one in there. And that's a really good track. And then the one after, Never Fade, it's like almost a radio rock track, and that might sound like an insult, and I don't mean it that way. It lends itself to being sung along to.
But I'm thinking as well, right, we're going on about the pace of Alice in Chains. I think since they've come back with Deval, they've not been. They're not the band of old. I don't think. Even though the sound's there.
Dirt came out what, 92.
Yeah, but you got to think how old are all these guys now? They're not going to be having
spring chickens.
Yeah, they're not going to be having the same verve and vibrance and vigour that they had on their earlier albums, are they?
No.
I think they're turning in as well. I don't think they're a grunge band anymore. I think they're more of a classic act now.
They never were.
Yeah.
They never were a grunge band.
I know they got hyped in. You'd say grunge, you'd be going Soundgarden, you'd be going Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Mudhoney, and then Alice in Chains would always get lumped in.
Yeah.
But
All I Am though, you were talking about the last track.
Yeah, I love it.
Brilliant album.
I love that
it's
track.
Like 7 minutes long.
I'd love to have done that on the Unplugged.
Yeah, that would fit perfectly if they were if they'd written that 20 years ago even. Yeah, fucking hell. I just think the 90s are 10 years ago still.
Yeah, and they're not. You're always surprised.
Like, oh shit. But no, I can see me re-listening to it. I can just see me skipping maybe Drone and a couple of others in the future.
Like I said, I like them all. I do really like this album. I'd give it a good solid. I'd probably give it a good solid 8.
Yeah,
for me.
Do you know what? I'd say
solid 8.
It's between a 7 and an 8 for me.
Because
so
I really
7.5.
like this track as well, Rainier Fog.
Yeah.
I can't hear the album or the song title without thinking of Rainier Wolfcastle.
Yeah.
Every single time. Every single time.
Well, yeah, I did have another interesting point. You know, on Tripod album or self-titled, they recorded this in the exact same studio they recorded that.
Oh, really? So I know that it's
Seattle.
back in Seattle, rather than out in Hollywood or whatever. Which is weird, because I'm pretty sure that when they were out in Hollywood, didn't they kind of write a song about Hollywood? And they thought, Black Gives Way to Blue, I think.
Yeah, it was,
Yeah, it was.
I can't quite remember, but I know what you're going on about.
Was it California Bleeding or something?
It must be.
But, yeah, I think it's a little bit of serendipity. But yeah, I just think if they'd recorded 2 or 3 more tracks and made it a 13-track album with 2 or 3 faster ones, that would have lifted it for me from a 7.5 to an 8, 9.5.
Yeah.
But like you said, they are getting older. I think I talked about that on the live review that, Jerry Cantrell, he didn't have a cane like Lemmy, like when I saw him play live last, but you can tell the fella's getting on a little bit. He'd do 2 or 3 headbangs and he'd stop headbanging.
Looking a little frail.
Yeah, that's it. It's just
How old do you think they are? I mean, Cantrell must be.
Cantrell, I'm sure, is in his 50s now. I'm sure of it.
And the rest of them can't be far behind.
Yeah, Deval's going to be youngest, clearly.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're not spring chickens, and
But
that's
with Deval, I think it brings. I know Lane was like in the Battle of Lane was kind of like not to be, but he's like the tortured soul, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I think Deval's got more of that kind of rock star kind of appeal.
Yeah.
With him.
Definitely. And I think now you mentioned as well about sort of Lane and the Tortured Soul, I think the best compliment I can play this album, even though it's not a 10 out of 10, is anyone who's not checked them out because it's not Lane, this is the one, so I've sort of mentioned that there's a track that sounds like Heaven Beside You, there's 2 tracks that sound like they could have come from Dirt, there's a couple of tracks that sound like they could have come from Facelift, and there's a couple that sound like could have been pulled from the self-titled. Then that's whether it is that they went back to the same studio, they went back to Seattle, but you'd be doing yourself a disservice not to listen to this album if you want these It's Lane or Nothing, because you're missing out on some classic Alice in Chains tracks. Even if not every single track is a classic, there's enough songs in there to scratch that itch.
You see, I'm of the sort of it's Lane or nothing. And a couple of podcasts ago, when we listened to one of their newer songs, and I was like, you know what, that sounds pretty good. That still remains maybe my favourite track on the album.
Right.
But I think I got a bit bored, and I don't know whether this is just time. I was into Alice in Chains. Yeah, I was into Alice in Chains when I was like a teenager, and now I'm like mid to late 30s. My tastes have changed, and there are certain aspects of it that I kind of wonder why they're doing it. Like Duval's vocals and Cantrell's vocals seem very, very similar in the way that Cantrell and Staley were similar, but Staley had that extra push and that extra bit of stank that he threw on it.
the yawl.
Yeah,
yawl.
I don't think that Duval's got that, so it makes me always think, why you got two vocalists? Have you got two vocalists specifically for harmonies?
Yeah.
Because if Cantrell can do it all, why don't Cantrell do it all?
It's my last point on this. I don't think, if you're not an Alice in Chains fan, I don't think this album's going to win you over.
Yeah.
But if you are an Alice in Chains fan, like Jay just said, there's plenty to get your teeth into here, I would say.
Definitely.
Something else I noticed on one of the tracks, which I think is one of the tracks that I think you weren't that keen on, Fly.
Yeah.
Fly, as I was listening to it, you can sing along Heart-Shaped Box to that song.
See, now I'm not a fan of Nirvana's In Utah album, so
No.
that could be very much why I don't rate Fly then.
Really?
That would make sense.
Fucking hell. But In Utero is one of my favourite Nirvana albums.
No, I never
But
rated
it just seemed I don't know, that was the tell for me when I got to that, and I was thinking I can hear Heart-Shaped Box vocals in the back of this. Maybe this is, I'm past this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is it again that flashback to it's from an era that you don't want to revisit?
It's a good album. It's well done. I just don't think that it's for me anymore.
All the songs are well written, which you expect from kind of, dare I say it, elder statesman of the game.
Well, I said it there. I said, he's not just a riff lord. He is he's
he serves the song, doesn't he?
He's a guitar god. He's not just a riff guy. He's a lead guy. Like say, he's not an over the top flourish. No. Like I said, he serves the song.
Because he's solo on. I think he does a little bit of a solo on that last track I was on.
I am.
It's a fantastic little bit of solo, and it's like he doesn't go off like a Slash or fucking any of them will do fucking whittled on for ages, but it was just like this perfect little fucking, I think 8 to 12 bars of a solo.
Yeah.
And he was just like, I had to fucking clap my hands. I was like, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Nice bit of guitar in there, Cantrell. Well done. You know what I mean?
It's just a little bit of a sprinkle on a cupcake.
Exactly.
I don't know. Also, I think that I think it sounds almost a little bit too over sanitized as well. It sounds a bit too clean. So I think that may be where you're getting your classic rock sound from. Yeah. Is that it's all of the same volume. It's all of the same compression. It all just seems
samey.
Very neat.
I think it'll sound massive live though.
It's all mid-paced.
Yeah.
And it's all very similar to me. And I get, I listen to some of the songs and I go, yeah, I like that bit and I like that bit, but I'm not sure whether I'm into it overall. I mean, the bit that I wrote down was that I can't really work out why. Nothing really sticks out for me. And I think it's as you age and your tastes change, you evolve. So as I was an Alice in Chains fan in my teenage years, it's like going back to an old T-shirt that you loved and realised that you're now too fat for it.
Yeah,
and there's nothing you can do. Yeah, you can't do anything
it's like
about
a crop top around your fucking
it's like
nipples.
I can't get back into it.
You're just walking around going, "Hey baby, do you like me now?"
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It's an odd position to be in because usually when you're into these bands, like what other band of that era is still going?
That's it. It's our fucking pickings, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, are Pearl Jam still a thing?
Yeah.
Pearl Jam is still going.
Still
I think they just put away with a very loyal fan base.
Yeah, they're shitting out fucking. They just shit out music.
They're only on 20 albums now. So it's Pearl Jam.
From that era. No, I was gonna say, Soundgarden was still going.
Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
Chili Peppers. There, you got to say they're kind of late 80s.
They ain't the
90s.
same band though.
No, they're not. No, it's not the band that recorded Mother's Milk that was out now.
But as well,
because that's what I do like about them is that they're doing the thing that they become famous for doing.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether it's... Is it time to change? I don't know.
No.
When you get to your 50s, can you change?
For my money, what they've done on this is great, because they've stuck to what they do and they've stuck to what they know best. There's no time now to be fucking changing their sound.
No.
But what they could do, so rather than, so they still keep the songs the same length, still play the same solos, but maybe the way they change it is kind of tied in with one of Luke's complaints. So, Metallica, released Stanger, released Load and Reload, and everyone's like, oh, Metallica sucks, and then, Rick Rubin does this classic producer thing of, stroking his beard and going, oh, maybe you should go back to, like, Master of Puppets. Maybe you should go back to your roots. That's $8,000, thank you. But, the life of a producer. But maybe they should do something similar. Hook up with, like, oh, Christ, who's the bassist who's a producer?
I know.
Kurt Ballou.
Yeah.
Go with like that's it. Get Kurt Ballou to produce them to get like dirty, sleazy noise. Rather than so imagine if they'd written these tracks, maybe 2 or 3 faster ones, but they got Ballou to do the production.
Yeah.
Would that be the change that would have brought a bit of fear and danger?
It'd be an injection of something different.
Yeah.
Because
so rather than for a big name like,
hey, we're going to record it at the same place we recorded, like 20 years ago.
We're going to go to a shitty hot basement.
Yeah. It produces a similar kind of sound.
Yeah.
This song that we're listening to right now, Heart-Shaped Box. I don't know what to say.
So I think that, so I agree with Terry, they couldn't all of a sudden start doing like polyrhythms and fucking shit like that.
They're not, and I wouldn't want Alice in Chains to change their sound.
You're not going to get Deval and Cantrell doing death growls. But that's it. You could muddy up the production.
Yeah.
If they wanted to change sound or change direction, I was sure Alice in Chains would have done it years ago.
Yeah.
I think maybe they should get a different producer, though. Maybe a less radio rock producer for the next one.
I agree. It'd be interesting to see somebody with, like, kind of the modern, kind of knowing the modern ways, but putting that little bit of fucking danger into it.
Yeah. It injects something that's not necessarily a change of style, but it's a change of sound.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if Kurt Ballou would want to work with these guys. He'd probably see him as like too big and too, Hollywood. But
I bet if Alice in Chains asked for it, he wouldn't say no.
No, probably not.
It's all money at the end of the day.
Okay. He could use it to fund. He could use it to fund, another passion project or something at that rate. But so there you go. Wow. Yeah,
I was going to say,
So I've
got no complaints with this album, to be honest. I know other people have, but that's I really enjoyed this album, kind of start to finish.
That's your hot soup.
So in review, if you've been into the last few Alice in Chains albums, it's a real decent pick.
Yeah, you're gonna like it, but like I said earlier, if you come in and looking for something different, and you're not if you're not an Alice in Chains fan, I don't think this is going to win you over. But if you are, go and download this album, go buy it.
Yeah, usual places, Spotify, iTunes, everywhere.
And if you do kind of like and really kind of semi-relate to this album, when they tour live, do see them live.
Yeah, because I reckon what's saying about this, I reckon it'll sound massive live. I
think it'll sound way better live than it does on record.
Yeah, definitely. Because they've never let me down live yet.
So Alice in Chains, Rainier Wolfcastle. So go check it out. Now we're going to talk about Bloodstock. Jay went to Bloodstock, so we're going to play a song. I don't know what that is, but
again, we'll have to kind of not pick Gajira because we've played Gajira quite a few times. We'll have a debate and work out which song we're going to play in between.
Nightwish.
We're not playing that.
Absolutely not. But here's a tune of some sort. Okay, so you just heard Power Trip, Swinging the Axe. We finally thought of a song to actually play, so there you go. That was pretty fucking sweet. Now, Jay went to Bloodstock. Unfortunately, me and Terry didn't because we motherfuckers. But yeah, Jay went. He saw a shit bunch of bands. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it was. Do you know what? It was 2 years away for me, and I'd forgotten how much I'd missed it. It is like kind of. It's the cheesy sort of thing where it's like going home. So every I would say month at work, I'll have to run an icebreaker session, and we sort of do this thing where it's like, you know, what's your favourite film? What's your hobby? What's your favourite place? What's your job or school experience? And what do you do at the weekend? And quite often I'll sort of refer to the Bloodstock Festival as like, you know, favourite place. I'll either say that or home. But in the 2 years I've not been as well, the head count has shot up. Now on the screens it actually mentioned well there was 18,000 people there.
That's shot up, hasn't it?
Now there you go. Now you realise how big that is. So like compare it to Download, it's not that big at all. But
no,
you've been to that arena.
Yeah, I've been to Bloodstock a few times, and it's always been nice and chilled.
It's fuller now. You notice, especially the main arena. So you can kind of breathe a little bit in the new Blood stage and the Sophie tent.
Yeah.
But the main arena now, it's you hit 1 o'clock and it's solid to the point where anyone who's been there will know what we're talking about. If I'm on the left-hand side of the mixing desk facing the stage, the last time I went 2 years ago, I could then walk in front of the mixing desk, in between people sitting in little groups and cliques of 2, 3s, 4s and 5s, and make a beeline towards sort of the campsite. Whereas now it's just that thick with people, you have to kind of walk behind the mixing desk, kind of parallel with all the food vendors until you pass the Jägermeister truck, and then cut down because there's just a sea of people.
That's one thing I loved about Bloodstock when I went, them 2-3 years. It's just the ease of moving about the place.
The main stage now draws such a big crowd, and what I sort of kind of find funny is one of my mutual friends. So the festival that took place in Newark actually this Saturday just gone called Stone Death.
Oh yeah.
One of my mutual friends put a status update saying, it's sold out. We sold all the merch out. Really good, friendly vibe. And I'm sure it was because it's going to be like Tech Fest, but it was for sort of more hard rock and pop rock type bands.
Wasn't it?
They headlined, yeah. And then another mutual friend commented on that, saying, after what I heard went on at Bloodstock this year. So I was just like, what have you heard about Bloodstock? Genuinely curious. They're like, download dickheads, suspected sexual assaults, thefts and stuff like that. And I'm like,
right.
I've not heard any of this. at all. It was still, so it was busier, do not get me wrong, it was busier, but the vibe is still that chilled out vibe. I never saw any sort of aggro where people,
that's what I was going to ask you,
fucking spilled my pint, and like, you know, when you walk past someone and bump someone, and tying in with that as well, going about it weren't being aggro, they really are like a well-oiled machine now, because this is kind of,
really?
Yeah, it's like the 7th or 8th year since they've had big headliners. If you think that they started with Machine Head, and they've just been obviously creeping up with their attendance year by year by year. I will get to the bands. I realise we're not talking about those. One thing we're talking about was shit drinks in the main arena. So I know you've got like the VIP
not
areas.
Shit drinks.
So Helen was happy they had Thatcher's cider on draft or Summer's Big, one of the two. But certainly it wasn't Strongbow Dark Fruits. They didn't have Strongbow Gut Rot, and they had Hobgoblin IPA. And so sometimes we've had Hobgoblin, just the standard ruby beer, but it's just been like a little trolley, it's in that a car can tow that looks like a keg, and it only ever had like 2 or 3 taps. And it wasn't on all the main sort of bar areas, but no, every bar area you went to, and they sold out of Hobgoblin by like halfway through Saturday afternoon. So I went to get a pint at like 4 or 5 on a Saturday afternoon, sold out, and that was a £5. So it's not like they even went, well, if Carling's a £5, then we're going to charge £6 for Hobgoblin. You know, so I was as happy as a pig in poop.
How much for Carling?
Well, normally it's been Carling or Foster's out, it's been a £5, so which would you rather have for a £5? Hobgoblin or Carling or
Foster's?
My own
fucking piss than drink that.
So absolutely well-oiled machine. And one thing I do want to talk about as well is, before I start talking about the bands, and it ties in with their organisation, is the disabled features and the disabled support. So my other half, she's never sort of gone into disabled before. She'll go, no, I can manage. So even though she's got arthritis, she's got a proper fucked leg, she would kind of struggle on through. So we actually camped in disabled for the first time. And it's just all the stops to pull out, so they stayed in constant touch with Helen. Once you sort of registered, you can't just blag it, you know, understandably, otherwise everyone's going to go, I've
got a bit of bikini, mate.
So they do need a letter from your doctor, and it has to be, you know, a genuine sort of disability. But sort of Helen's doctor wrote a letter,
fair enough, isn't it?
Sent a scan out letter to them, like, this is a procedure, you need to do this on the day, you need to do that on the day. Not in a nasty, you need to do this, but it's just like, this is how it goes.
That's a procedure.
And it just ran swimmingly. Like, all the stewards knew about the disabled camping area. They weren't like, whoa, search me, I don't know where it is.
Right.
And then within the arena, there's like an area to go if you register for disabled. Because they've even, so I think it's also like the first aid tent. But they've even got a refrigerated area for the meds. And so Helen was allowed to bring people to support with the party, so she brought her sister and her boyfriend. And her sister's is a type 1 diabetes sufferer.
Okay.
So she was able to put all her insulin meds in this fridge.
It has to be chilled anyway,
rather than leaving it in a tent, which every time the sun hits the tent, boom. So people don't really talk about it, because is it not metal to talk about it? Maybe not, I don't know. But
I think it's probably because it's just not relevant to everyone. Talk about it.
That's it. It's not
the majority of people go through the same thing.
They've got the viewing platforms as well, and that's run fair. Although it goes to show again, you never really can judge a book by its cover. So the viewing platform, and there's a crash barrier, so you can kind of stand in front of the viewing platform if you want to stand. I think it was when Cannibal Corpse were on, before Gajira, this old couple, and they looked like a pair of geography teachers. You know, got wax jackets and everything. They did not, to the point where you're thinking, are these
patches on the elbows?
Are these the parents of someone who's playing here? And as it was approaching Gajira, so it's the headline, and again, this is in the comms that are sent out to Helen. So it's going, you can sit on here. Your party can if there's room, but if your party who are coming with you, your carers, if they're able people, for want of a better word, and someone rocks up with a motorised wheelchair, you're going to have to leave and let the person with a wheelchair comes on. Seems fair, right? So this lady who's got the disability, and her husband's like, I'm not leaving her. And then it's just like, well, you're able-bodied and, she's not, and there's someone in a wheelchair. I'm not leaving my wife, and all this kind of stuff. And it's just like, mate, don't be a dick. It's like, what happens if something happened to my wife if I wasn't on this platform? It's like, then there's show sex guys all around them. But the only thing that was a shame was that they were powerless. They couldn't say this. I really wanted someone that they had a copy of that contract they'd sent to Helen to say, this is what we sent to everyone who's got the disabled camping. This is what you've agreed to. You don't have a disability. You're able-bodied. She isn't. She can stay. You need to pee off. I went off. I'm able-bodied. You know what I mean? And that's the one thing. Again, you always get selfish cunts. But again, that's not Bloodstock's fault.
Yeah.
That's people being dicks.
Yeah.
So, anyway, enough about sort of not to belittle the fact that Bloodstock are like a well-oiled machine. Here's some of sort of the highlights. Purely because in my mind to talk about, we're going to play them. Power Trip. So they were on stupidly early, like 20 past 11, half 11 on the Saturday morning.
Fuck.
The crowd they pulled was huge. Really? Absolutely, like massive.
That warms my black heart.
And you just know that whenever they record the follow-up to Nightmare Logic, you know full well that Bloodstock will repeat book them, and that they'll have the 5:30, 6 o'clock slot.
Potential headliners?
In a couple of years' time, if they carry on like this way, yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying main stage, I'm saying tents.
Well, they could easily headline the tent in another album's time, I reckon. And they'll probably get some headline on main if they carry on like this.
Yeah.
But yeah, the crowd for like the time of day was massive, absolutely massive. Suicidal Tendencies absolutely smashed the Sophie tent because they were supposed to be on the main stage. And there's this Japanese band called Love Bites.
Oh, I've heard of them.
So it's kind of like, people thought it's like baby metal, but it's not really, because the girls all play the instruments, so they play the guitars, the drums, the keyboards, the bass and everything. So they got this main stage slot, which meant that Suicidal had to take the Sophie tent slot.
Because wasn't their flight delayed or something?
Yeah, flight delayed and then hold up in customs.
Yeah.
The only problem with that is, so I think I said on the last podcast I wanted to watch Emperor, and Suicidal clash with Emperor, and I thought, but last time I saw Suicidal was like 2006, when the clash with Guns N' Roses. No brainer, I'm going to watch Suicidal Tendencies. The only thing that disappointed me is they put on an amazing show. It felt like out of control at times, especially with Lombardo on drums. Absolutely insane with Lombardo on drums.
Really?
But Mike Muir needs to kind of ease off on his in-between song rants. Easy could have got in 2 more tracks, if not potentially 3.
What? So if he just shut the fuck up and got on with it.
Shut up. Now, again, don't get me wrong, again, this is, you got about Alice in Chains being old and everything. He's even older because Suicidal is like 81, 82.
I was going to say,
so I know he's getting on, and you'd sometimes see him a breather. But then again, his backing bands have mics. Because at one point, his mic shit the bed, and he got a wireless mic, and he started using like one of the bassists that would stand with like a mic lead, and then that keep getting unplugged and shit, and then like you can tell like this sort of backup bassist and guitar, like, oh shit, we haven't got a mic to sing into. So, well, that's my reason. Is like, well, if you've got vocalists who play guitar and bass who can sing shit for you, stop ranting between songs. If you need a breather, I get it. You're in your 50s and you're probably fitter than me, but don't waste 2-3 songs. Some of the songs would like end up being extended jams.
Yeah.
But when they were doing extended jams and when they were doing the talking, fuck me, that shit kicked off. Really, really, really good. Devil Driver, I think all right.
Country album?
I think they played 1 track from the country album, but there's nothing really that memorable. If we use the sexual metaphors again, which we seem to like doing on this podcast, they blew the load. They played End of the Line as the opening track, which was just like, alright, so they didn't do the cheese thing of saving it for the encore. But
where do you go from there?
They didn't have an encore, exactly. Where do you go from there? They just played for like a good 50 minutes solid, so they didn't like do the whole stop, wait for people to cheer. Well, you should have closed the end of the line then. That White Candle Corpse opening with Hammer Smash Face.
Yeah.
And, George acknowledged that when they played, he's like, yeah, we know that you know what song's coming next.
Do you think that might be because of their country album that people were like, oh my god, what are they going to play? What are they going to play? And then they play End of the Line. And it's like, okay, the normal shit.
You're going to play metal. Because even the backdrop wasn't the country album. The backdrop was from the album before the Country Covers album. So yeah, I think there was maybe a little bit of trepidation. Nothing to do with the music, and I'm not like judging people for looks. People just how they want to fucking look. But the bassist, I was telling Terry at the barbecue, day before yesterday, looked so out of place. It's like literally, it's going, I'm playing in Devil Driver, this kind of crossover metalcore band, but I'm just kind of waiting for the call from Marilyn Manson, because they were all in like sort of black distressed jeans and a black leather jacket and the look didn't fit the music.
Was he playing in another band as well?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I need to do some Googling, but yeah, I'm just like, you do not look like part of the lineup at all. Yeah. You just be like, spot the odd one out, found him. Just like, really weird dress sense. But like I say, that's up to him. But to me, you would have more likely seen him on Combi Christ or Marilyn Manson or something like that. Yeah. Even like 9 Inch Nails backing band or something when they weren't in their minimalist phase. I think Jasta on the Sunday was probably a surprise for a lot of people. It's like Helen's sister didn't even know they were. She's like, who's this Jasta? Like, because they went out to watch who was on before Jasta. And they were like, who's Jasta? I'm like, singer from 8 Breed. We'll stay out for that then. And there's that, I don't know if you've ever heard of that Metal Allegiance tour that's got like, it's got Alex Skolnick from Testament, Mike Portnoy, and like they'll jam like classic tracks, they'll like play some Maiden songs, some Sepultura. Right. Well, this was a more modern version of that. So they were playing like Fear Factory tracks, Down tracks, Kingdom of Sorrow tracks. So they play like.
Didn't Dino
Cazares turned up, Kurt Weinstein turned up.
Fuck yes.
Howard Jones turned up. So apparently he'd been flown over to London to do End of Heartache, twin vocals with Jesse when Kill Switch Sport in Maiden. Yeah. So then like I think because Jasta got wind of that, he's like, well we're playing. Do you want to like do that sort of Chasing Demons song? So they did that as a proper duet. But then Howard sang Bury Me in Smoke by Down at the end.
Oh man!
And then like Jasta got on just to do the drums that dun 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 dun, where he's like twatting the toms. So that were like good. When you just want to see classic stuff.
That's fucking cool.
And like for the Crowbar, they even did what's their biggest track? Oh fucking hell! It's like the fastest Crowbar song anyway. Cannibal Corpse, so I think I mentioned that before I went, where we would wear Hawaiian shirts. You saw fuck tons of Hawaiian shirts. I think even one of the merch stalls had got wind and they were like putting them out at the front. But then the problem was Saturday, it pissed it down pretty much as soon as like Cannibal was like doing the final bits of sound check. So it was getting greyer and greyer and greyer as they were getting ready. And then like the final 5 minutes before they took to the stage, it was like few spots, and then pissing it down, proper utter pissing it down. So by the time it got to like Hammer Smash Face, like people, you saw people walking away like fuck this. I think some people then didn't even stay for Gojira.
Oh my god!
I think some people I need to go back to the tent and drive wherever I to tell us. So I'm not leaving now.
That must have been a weird situation watching like Cannibal Corpse with a bunch of people in Hawaiian shirts whilst it's pissing it down.
Yeah, it's just like this is very odd. It was quite surreal. But yeah, they put on a very standard typical show. The only thing I'd say about that is if anyone from Bloodstock booking listens to this, don't know if they will or don't put any stock in my opinion. I think they stopped booking the 90s classic death metal bands because I think this is the third time that Cannibal have played now. I think Obituary have played at least 2 if not 3 times. Morbid Angel, I think they've only played the once. I probably wouldn't mind if they play, but again, Morbid Angel split up now, so you've got 2 versions. But I think, start looking to the modern death metal bands, just because they're not from the 90s and they didn't record at Morris Sound Studios with Scott Burns producing, you're still probably going to get a decent. I think Power Trip proved that.
We're all going to say Rivers.
Yeah, exactly. So that's it. Book Rivers, book Cow Decapitation, book Black Crown. There's some new blood out there. And it's still going to draw people on. Don't just go with the people who had the torch in the 90s, but the people who got the torch now. Rivers would be amazing.
That's what I wanted to ask you. Did you see any of Conjurer?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I watched Conjuring the second stage.
Were they still as crushing as they were?
They were. And that's it's a bigger tent. If you think the Sophie tent is bigger than the biggest
where we saw them at
tent at Tech Fest, and they did an admirable job of filling that. I think I sort of mentioned to you, you got yourself a bargain getting their merch for 10 quid at a pub because
fucking dead.
Yeah. Once you're playing at a festival and your t-shirt's 25, because you've got to pay that cut. although I didn't go to watch that, I just got because I got a very good spot in the arena. Is, and I'm going to say this, is Mr. Big. So not my genre of music at all, but probably the best musicianship. So the guitarist and the bassist, with they kind of almost did like a dueling banjo. They didn't play dueling banjos as a song, but literally the guitarist and the bassist trading off licks and solos and stuff like that. And you're like, there'll be no one here on site that's got the chops of that bassist and that guitarist. No way, not a fucking cat in hell's chance. And it was funny to see people sing on To Be With You, and you're talking people corpse painted up, bullet belted up, Gorgoth shirts, kind of people that's it, kind of people that hold
face paint running because of the rain.
That's it, kind of people that be holding invisible oranges, and there they are, it's just fuck. Next thing they'll be booking Extreme, so they can all sing along to More Than Words next. But as well, I kind of, because that ballad, I think I've done that thing of writing them off. I'm thinking, this is a cop rock band, but some of the tracks are almost bluesy. And you could tell that pulled some of the Bloodstock Die Hard. So again, when I talked about how they book their weekends, and there's the bands that I feel loyalist to were there when it was the indoor festival. That's definitely what you class Mr. Big as. That's a band that appeals to the people who were there in 2003 when it first started. Mentioning Conjurer Terry, Bleed From Within, again, they stepped up to a bigger stage. They pulled a massive crowd. And watching with that bigger stage, and I'm thinking, well, if they carry on like this,
so I know they kind of won you over at
Techfest.
Techfest,
yeah. They're going to go bigger.
They are going to get bigger, and it was so funny. I really genuinely believed him as well. So I know it's like the Simpsons thing. We thought that Shelbyville rocked hard, boo, but no one rocks better than Springfield. And the singer at one point is just I'm not going to do a Scottish impression because that would get me lynched, but he's genuinely, this is the best gig I've ever played. And I thought, do you know what? I don't think he's bullshitting there. I think that was, they played in second stage, pulled a big ass crowd, and he did look genuinely happy. So I thought, I'm not thinking that was his buttering us up as an audience. I think he genuinely meant that. Band that I just checked out purely because the programme talked about him, and you two might like him, is Deity's Muse.
Shit! I actually just heard them last week.
Yeah,
they're pretty good.
Yeah, so the programme sort of said, they've got influences like Sabbath, Deftones, Tool, and stuff like that. Now, a couple of tracks initially were very straight rock. Wouldn't make me think, well, I hear the Deftones in that, but I think once they kind of settled down, I think what they went is they played a couple of nice, simple ones just to kind of bed in and ease in. And then when they played the more proggy ones, and I was like, right, okay, now I'm hearing those influences. But it's just that's why you go to these second stages. You take the punt. And,
you always might find something that.
Because what was the three-piece German band at Techfest?
Hirscheffekt.
You know what I mean? That's it. It's just it was like that again. It's just we went to watch them. Absolutely amazing. Couple more, then I'll finish. So Feed the Rhino. Wasn't impressed with them. Not very memorable.
They started off so great. I remember the first release of Feed the Rhino, and I was so into their album, and I've just never got any further with them.
Again, this is going to sound like I'm, you can't judge someone by a name or anything, but I think, there were bands of that era of Verb the Noun, Do the Thing, Feed the Rhino, Shit Your Pants. And it's just every band of that era had just as a lot of bands chased Unearthing Killswitch's coattails in 2003, and metalcore was a thing for 2 years. Verb the Noun bands had a particular sound.
Yeah. And
that sound, I think, is deader than a dead thing. I don't think it had legs. I don't think it had consistency. And something was very telling. I think I read it online afterwards because I'm because I never really heard of them, but I thought I'll check them out because they're a British band. So it was either on the Kerrang website or the Metal Hammer website. And they talked about how they'd asked Bloodstock for the past 5 years, can we play? And I'm when I read that, I'm but surely if you're that strong, the band's booker, the festival
they will get you.
The festival booker's going to come to you.
Yourself kind of thing.
Yeah, and I know that's a harsh thing to say, You know, so someone fucking hell, Jay, you know, if you were in a band, you'd be begging blood. And yeah, I'm sure I would. If I was in a band, I'd be fucking like hitting up, you know, everyone at Bloodstock, book our band. But I think there's that many bands now, self-funded, self-released.
I kind of knew that Feed the Rhino, when they first got going, they did have a lot of momentum behind them.
Yeah.
But I think what damaged Feed the Rhino is they had a bit of a break for a couple of years.
Right.
Because I think like one of them got married, one of them was having a baby and stuff like that, you know, just all like normal life stuff got in the way. So they had a good stream of momentum that was fucking everywhere, that was playing all the time, and then all of a sudden that switch just got cut off. I think that might have been the thing that's derailed them a little bit.
Yeah, the thing is though, you can't. If that is the case, you can only take that break when you've hit big band level. So like Lamb of God, obviously with Brandy in prison, he's like, we're going to take a long break. Yeah, they've hit that level. Gojira, there were a 4-year break between Infant Sausage and Magma. And part of that was because of the death of their mother, I think it was.
Yeah.
So Magma was going to come out a lot earlier, but then that caused a lot of complications. But again, because of sort of the Way of All Flesh, Infant Sausage, Master Sirius, those 3 albums in a row. Well, I know I've said them in the wrong order there, but they built up that momentum of hype.
Yeah.
And there's also that layer of progression that they had as a band as well. That if you have like a couple of years off and you come back with an album that sounds very similar to your last album, you haven't really got anywhere.
Yeah.
Tied in with Jesus, these were now the only gripe I'm gonna have is they probably played for 1 hour 20 minutes at most. So the stage times were 9 till 10:30 because Priest the day before was 9 until 11:15. So they got an hour and 45. You know, Priest have got a lot of albums, but they didn't start. So Gojira didn't start until 9:05, and they were definitely finished before 10:30. They finished like 25 past, and they had an encore break. But so my only gripe is shit. You could have played longer, and if Priest were allowed to play till 11:15, Bloodstock should have pushed for them to play because they got the material. But it were amazing. The rain that had been going all through Cannibal, and after kind of left the stage while the soundtrack run, stopped for Gojira. I don't know if there's anything more metal than that Gojira stopped the rain. But when you've been like freezing your fucking nuts off or tits off for 2 hours, that was great for it to stop for that. Very much remind me of Metallica in a way. So they're all in black, you know, so you can kind of then you read from the band what you want to get from the band because they're not wearing like camo combat shorts, they're not wearing like they've not got loads of like sleeve tattoos and stuff. It's just although the bassist had a Zeal and Ardor shirt, which I thought were nice, like giving a rep to a way smaller band, but in a little subtle way.
Catch any of Zeal? Because they were there, weren't they? Were they there?
No, I think Zeal and Ardor were off Tangent, weren't they?
That's it. Yeah.
But they were tight as fuck. I was right as well. I read an interview with Mario. They did have a professional camera crew recording them for a DVD.
Yeah, I said they can't have been not.
The camera work was insane, so I think they might have the same cameras as our friend Sean. I think there might have been some reds and stuff, but they were so tight. But they had like, they had pyro, they had weird stuff as well. So they had like white confetti. They had loads of like video images of like also like Pink Floyd. You know, you never really saw album artwork imagery. But we were talking about festivals quite a few episodes back, and Terry, you actually said, "Oh yeah, I can see, you know, Gojira. They could be a second stage download headliner." After seeing them at Bloodstock, they are that will be their next one. I can guarantee you. They'll bring an album out, and the copy will book them to close the second stage. 100%, that'll be their next step now. Especially if they go a bit more, because you even talked about in the interview that we're going a little bit further away from death metal and stuff. They already start with Magma, they're going to carry it on. So I think their Black album is imminent. I don't think it'll be completely clean vocals still, but yeah. And then last one, not a headliner at all, but Paul Bearer, fantastic in the Sophie tent.
I've been hearing a lot of good things about Paul Bearer.
All you saw like red and green lights. They would use other people's equipment because at one point like the singer's like, "Oh, really sorry about this. Like, you know, it's not a Paul Bearer gig without, you know, equipment
something
fucking up." Because these aren't even our instruments and stuff. So I'm guessing on the flight over or something had been lost in the mix, but. it was just they suited the tent. I'm glad they played the Sophie tent as like as the band before the headliner on the Sunday. So that was the last band to watch because then I tipped out before Nightwish. So for me, that was like the perfect tent.
You didn't stay and start floating?
No, I did not.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we didn't yet. But yeah, absolutely amazing. Just think they need to make that arena a bit bigger now. Somehow, like move the vending stalls back because.
Well, isn't there a problem there? Because they can't extend it too far back.
Yeah,
because there's a fucking big fuck off river, isn't there?
There's a river or something, or some drainage or something. But yeah, just Cannibal Corpse. But yeah, it's.
Who would you pick then? Out of all this, right? We're looking into the future. Who would you think will be a shoo-in for an headlining slot next year?
What, a Bloodstock?
Yeah. Who would you think? Do you reckon Machine Head would be in for a shout again?
Depends if they can fucking pull their finger out their ass or not.
Before Catharsis, I'd have said there'd have been a cert for it, but I don't know, is people going to be clamouring for them now? I mean, you know, I think the tour was a sellout, weren't it? As in, not as in they sold out, but they sold out a ticket, well, so potentially.
Depends how you look at that one.
But I'd like to see, you know, when we're talking about Metal Hammer acts, they've actually managed not to book repeat headliners. So Megadeth have played twice now, Slayer have played twice now, but they're still not the Metal Hammer acts. If you just go with the Metal Hammer band, so it was Machine Head, Lamb of God, Down, Mastodon, Ghost last year.
You see, that would be one of my picks, not Ghost, but Mastodon.
So
I know I've done it before.
So that's your 6. I think probably now, because of the fact, you know, they're supporting Parkway, they support Maiden. Killswitch are on the cusp.
Yeah.
I think Killswitch have always been on the cusp.
Yeah, I mean, Killswitch would have been a dead cert 2005.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They definitely, if they had the buzz now that they had then, they'd be a dead cert now. I can actually see it repeating the Parkway Drive tour. I can see Parkway Drive headlining Bloodstock.
Yeah.
And then Killswitch sub-headlining. I can literally see a repeat of that January tour next year. I can see all 3 bands actually. So I can see Parkway Drive, Killswitch, and Die Art Is Murder. I can see all 3 playing Bloodstock next year. Suicide Silence, again, if they'd not released whatever the one is that really peed everyone off. But again, they might be sub-headliner slot now.
Yeah.
I don't know, there's a headliner big. I don't know who else could headline Bloodstock. Who else is down on Mastodon? Could Clutch do it?
You see, I would clamour for Clutch, but
I would like to hear Clutch.
Because think about it, Machine Head play Rock City. Down play Rock City.
Clutch have done it.
Mastodon play Rock City.
I don't think.
So if you say all those bands have played Rock City, then surely Clutch
have got
culty, aren't
Clutch have got that following. Everyone I seem to know loves Clutch, but
you know what
it's still not a metal festival band.
Do you know what I'd do? I'd put them in the tent, headline in the tent, see how that goes down, and then maybe again, down the line.
If they were announced as the headliner, do you not think that would shift a fair few tickets?
Yeah.
It would fucking definitely blow my skirt up, definitely.
I think if I saw Clutch confirmed for one of the days, that's it. Everyone's gone on about that on the Bloodstock forums and the Facebook actually saying when are you going to announce some headliners for next year. They've not, because normally what you tend to find is on the Saturday or the Sunday.
To drum up interest for next year.
Yeah, they'll normally either after the sub-headliner or before the headliner, so I've got an announcement, here's the first headliner for next year, or at the end of the headliner, they'll say, alright, before you go back to the campsite, we've got entertainment on in the arena, but here's your first band for 2019, what do you think of that? And there weren't any of that this year, so they must be struggling to go, let's not go down the route of Megadeth again, Slayer again.
Emperor.
Yeah. I think Sabaton are a dead cert for next year.
Like you say, I reckon Ghost has got to be a shoo-in for one of them.
But again, they played last year, so I wouldn't want them here next year because that would just be like too soon.
True.
But they fucking suck. I mean, I don't like them. That's what I mean.
Tell you what was amazing.
That's what I mean. Say how you really feel. They're fucking stuck. Well, no, I'm in your camp, but Yeah.
What I was surprised at is they had a massive poster for that Carpenter Brute Ghost tour, and they kept playing the video for it all the time. But it was really bad actually, because the video made it look like cheesy cock rock.
Yeah.
And I thought, if any people like book tickets off the strength of that video and don't actually go to YouTube or Spotify and listen to it, they're gonna be like, this is not what I thought it was gonna be.
This seems like it's like a massive, like, it's a fucking crazy plane going overhead, so you might hear that. But it feels like the Ghost are touted to be a hearse when really they're like the fucking Pimp Panther mobile. You know, they're just like they're nothing of what you expect them to be. Yeah. They're a bunch of people in fucking masks and corpse paint, essentially.
And you get in a Barbie house.
They are essentially pop, and I just think that it's like entrapment. It's like metal entrapment.
I don't see. I'm with you.
The aesthetic doesn't match the music.
No, it doesn't.
No,
at all.
I'm with you.
But then again,
what the hype is.
Isn't that like what we grew up with? I remember growing up, like, you know, looking at Kiss and going, "Man, I bet they're really heavy," but they weren't at all.
Love Gun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They were essentially they were essentially pop with guitars as well.
But I've never been a fan of Kiss. So.
No, me neither.
No.
I've never got that. I don't get Ghost. Even though I've seen them live, I see them live actually, supporting of all bands. Harking back to the band we discussed earlier, Alice in Chains.
Really?
Leeds, yeah.
Wow.
I went down there with my dad, and Dad had a few choice words to say about Ghost. It was funny.
See, I remember when they were like, it's a shame that never carried on actually, where Jägermeister Music Tour, where tickets were like a $5.
Shit, yeah, I remember that.
Jägermeister's they were supporting and funding the tour, right. So there's loads of like heavy Jäger merchandising and advertising, but Gojira were on before Ghost, and I did say and watch some of Ghost, but then they're just like, nah, this is boring. It's just Sabbath riffs with like dudes of corpse paint and like religious clothing, and like whatever.
Yeah, it's all about the aesthetic. And it's one of those things where I look at a band and I think you got nothing except for your aesthetic.
Yeah, if everything's on point.
If you dudes were just in your normal clothes, no one would give a shit.
Yeah, and that's if you didn't say it was Ghost and you played it on Spotify, but just like hitting it, you're thinking this like it's like Sabbath rip-off.
Yeah. So I think we're going to call it a close on this episode, because this section's gone on way longer than I was anticipating. We're on like 35 minutes for this particular bit. What I did want to say, though, is that we're going to go through our social media things. So remember to go check us out on Facebook group, which is Metal Health. We've also got Metal Health Pod on Instagram and Twitter. Yeah. And if you want to hit us up on the email address as well, metalhealthpc@gmail.com. Because we're on our 10th episode, next time we're up. Each one of us is choosing an album, like a classic album in our own minds, as it were, and we're going to put it up to a poll on all social media. Yeah, so we need you to tell us what you want us to talk about, really.
Well, we're going to go. We're not just going to talk about the album. We're going to go full in and pick the bones out of it.
Yeah,
deep, like everything.
Deep into production, deep into like live sessions after and things,
how they came to make the album, what they're doing now. We're going to go through the whole spectrum of it. So yeah, get voting.
We've not 100% chosen our picks yet, but as soon as we do, we'll get them on our social media. So we'll make sure that they're on like Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, everywhere. We'll stick something on the blog as well, which is also metalhealth.co.uk. So yeah, if you can hit that up when you see it on social media, that'll be sweet. And to close this out, we're going to play another song. Again, I haven't really decided what that is, but yeah, peace out. We've been Shit Your Pants.
Earned a pre-preparation. preparation of a future will begin. I was not sufficient with a long eternal vision and resilient but retrograding skin. Sure, I'm excited to be happily embodied, though wire has been on like a mold. This is not the lie.